Yes. You gotta get some food bucket. Tomorrow, okay?
Play here. All right. So, well, thank you so much for hopping on our call. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm super excited to have Jessica on our call as well. Jessica and I met a year ago at this time. We were at the New Leadership Conference in LA, and we hit it off. She's a Wisconsin girl and just a hardworking mama. She's got 4 kids. She works from home full-time as a coach. She was able to quit her teaching career and become a full-time coach. And she's been a coach for about 4.5 years. And she is a 3-star diamond coach in her first business center, a 1-star in her second. Was it your second or in your husband?
In my husband's.
In your husband's. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. My second's an emerald, I think. So
yeah. Okay, good. But yes, she is a Success Club All-Star. She's a 6-figure earner with the business, so she knows her stuff. So I'm super excited. I'm going to hand it over to her, and she's going to talk to us about consistency with your business and expanding your market. So I will hand it on over.
Yay. Thank you so much, Devin, for having me. I just am honored to be on your call, and I made some slides because, like Devin said, I was a teacher for 12 years before being a coach. And so any chance I have to make slides, I get really like a big nerd. Let me share my screen with you. So just give me a second to do that. And where are you, slides? Okay. Let's see. Okay.
Awesome.
So can you see okay, Devin?
Yes.
Okay. And hold on really quick. I'm going to plug my computer in, so I just realized it wasn't, and I would really hate for it to die. Like, that would be embarrassing.
It's something I would do. So
oh my goodness. Okay. We're plugging in. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to talk about expanding your market and just the power of consistency. Mostly I'm going to be focusing on expanding your market, but I think that consistency is going to be a thread you're going to see running through this again and again. I just think it's key to success in this business. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how to move beyond close friends and family to build your audience and to do so with consistency. So the first thing I want to do is I'll try to make this brief because I know we started a little bit later than 8, and I also just want to be sure that I don't talk your ear off, because I could do a whole call just on my story and just kind of where I came from with this business and how it's changed my life. So I'm going to try to just keep it short so I don't ramble on, but I want to just give you guys kind of an idea of my background with Beachbody and how I've gotten to where I am in 4.5 years. Definitely am not an expert, but I just kind of want to share with you. So 4.5 years ago, my story began, well, now almost 5 years ago, actually, that I did my first challenge. So almost 5 years ago, I was home with my 2-year-old and my 6-month-old. And I had been teaching full-time high school English up until this point. And then I had decided to go part-time at the technical school here in Madison, teaching college English classes. So my background is in education, has nothing to do with fitness, nothing to do with business. And so I was, at this point in time, teaching night classes. So I would go to my night classes at the college, and I was still wearing maternity clothes, even though my baby was like 6 months old, because I couldn't fit into any of my dress clothes. And I was not earning very much money. You don't earn very much money at all teaching part-time, even with a master's degree. But, you know, from where we were at in our family's life, it was what we wanted to do. And so the unfortunate thing, though, is that I was really running on empty. So I would be home with my 2 little kids all day. My husband would get home from his job. We were like ships passing in the night. Then I would put on my maternity pants. I'd go to teach. I'd come home. I'd be up with the baby. I'd get up. I'd do it all over again. And I was just running on empty. I was doing absolutely nothing for myself. I was not working out. I was not eating particularly well. My husband and I barely saw each other, and I was struggling with postpartum depression that I was not seeking any help for because I was too proud or too busy. I don't know. I don't think I was really even aware of how bad it was. And then to make matters worse, our financial situation was really dire at this point. We had experienced a house fire that had left us homeless for 4 months. Living in a hotel up until then while we waited for insurance to kick in and repairs to be made on our home. And in that point in time, we had racked up an enormous amount of credit card debt. It was bad. And then I had lost a couple classes at the college because of low enrollment, which means then I just didn't get paid. And so at this point in time, we had like $24,000 in credit card debt. We were barely making our mortgage payments. We had these 2 little kids. I distinctly remember going to Hy-Vee here in Madison and having to leave my whole cart full of groceries there because my debit card was overdrawn. And just the embarrassing, how devastated I was and how embarrassed I was. And my relationship with my husband was really strained at this point too, because we were so broke and we never saw each other. And it was just, everything was bad. So if you can think of like the worst of the worst, this is where I was at. Enter my coach, Amanda, who is a good friend of mine from college. And she had invited me many, 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 many times to join her groups. And I had always ignored her. I didn't understand what she did. And I didn't think I had the money, which I didn't. But I don't know. I just tuned her out. And I think a lot of it had to do with my own insecurities. And so I did her insanity challenge, something. She just asked me on the right day. So there is an example of don't give up, because what if she had stopped asking me, right? I was never offended that she was asking me, but it was more like the time just wasn't right. And finally I had reached this low point and I was like, okay, whatever, I'll just do it. And so somehow I came up with the $220 for an insanity challenge pack. There were no $140 challenge packs when I started. And I did insanity. You can see my before and after pictures. And I finally got out of those horrible maternity clothes. But more than anything else, 60 days, bless my coach, who led me through 60 days of this challenge. I gained so much confidence and energy and was making time for me. And I went and I saw a therapist and a psychiatrist for my postpartum depression and started like just doing something for myself for the first time in 2 years, right? And then one of my husband's coworkers asked what I was doing to get in shape. And I was like, well, we certainly could use the money. And my heart was in helping other people because I was a teacher. And things just grew from there. So she was my first customer and my first coach. I coached her one-on-one via text and email, right, through 60 days every day. And that was the beginning. And so since then, I will just, go on to just tell you that I have had 2 more children. I was able to retire from teaching. We paid off all our credit card debt once we really sat down to do it in about 18 months. We were able to sell the home that we could barely make payments on and move into a new home, which you can see in the picture, which is like 3 times the size of our old one. I've built this amazing team. And I'm in the best shape. Well, not right now because I just had a baby 3 months ago, but in general, I remained being in really good shape. I ran like a few half marathons, a marathon, formed this team of amazing women, and have been able to retire from teaching because I've built a 6-figure income with this business opportunity, not overnight, but with consistency over 4.5 years. So that is, I could seriously talk all night about my story and tell you probably more details than you ever want to know, but that's the short version of how I fell into this business and how it has changed my life. This challenge group was a gift that my coach offered me, and I just can't imagine if she had given up on me and not provided me this opportunity. So with that, I'm going to go into my spiel for you all. So I hope that kind of helps tell you where I'm coming from. I have 4 expectations for you for success to kind of put in the forefront of your mind when you're thinking about expanding your market, okay? I think this is a problem that a lot of coaches run into, like they're not getting the response they want for building their team or for building their challenge groups. And so I have 4 expectations for success that I want you to keep in mind, okay? The first is to be honest.
I'm here. I just muted you.
Oh.
Because I feel bad I'm not answering. I just have to mute it because it could get loud here.
No worries.
Okay.
The first is to be honest with yourself. So I equate this a lot to your fitness journey. You know, I am in a 21-day fix challenge right now, along with my challengers. And on Monday, we weighed in. Who wants a weigh-in on Monday, right? I have baby weight to lose still I just had a baby 4 months ago. And so I stepped on the scale and I was really frustrated with the fact that it didn't move at all. And I was like, I've been doing this, program, and I'm so annoyed with it. And then I was like, stop, Jess, like be honest with yourself. Did I stick to my plan over the weekend? No. So I can't be frustrated with the results I didn't get from the work I didn't do. And I see a lot of times coaches, they get really frustrated when they're like, I posted about my challenge on social media and nobody responded. Well, be honest with yourself. Like, are you consistently showing up on social media, or is it this one post you made all week at a random time that nobody saw? It's not a reflection of your business. And I think sometimes when we get frustrated with our market, we need to really stop and do a gut check about whether we're putting in the work and whether we're putting in the time and the consistency to make the steps towards expanding our market. It's the same thing with your fitness journey. You can't be frustrated with yourself if you drank a whole bottle of wine and a whole cheesecake and then you're pissed that the scale didn't move. Well, you don't need to beat yourself up, but you also need to do a gut check and realize like it's not going to move if you're not doing the work, right? So that's my first expectation, is to really think as I'm going through my tips on this call, whether you are being honest with yourself about the amount of work and effort that you're willing to put in to expand your market. My next tip for expanding your market, my next rule, is to be genuine. A lot of times we struggle to expand our market when we have motive that isn't authentic and isn't genuine. You need to realize that this is a relationship business, and relationships are not going to be built if you're just trying to sell people stuff. It comes across as sleazy, and if it feels yucky to you, then you are probably being yucky, okay? You need to be genuine. You need to be you. You need to get to know people and trust that process. That expanding your network in this business is built on relationships. People can buy Beachbody programs from Amazon or Craigslist or borrow it from their neighbor. They're going to invest in you if you're genuine and they're seeing through any sort of appearance that you're putting out there and really being yourself, okay? My next rule with expanding your network, and I'm going to get into some really specific tips here in a minute, is to be patient. Again, this is a relationship business. Relationships aren't built overnight. Once you've exhausted your warm market, especially, it's gonna take time to form new relationships. And that's okay. When you try to rush it, that's when you're not being genuine. And my last bit of advice before I get into some really concrete tips for you on expanding your network, and I will revisit this one again and again, is to be consistent. When I talk about being consistent in this business, I'm talking, and Devin and I were talking before you guys hopped on the call, about I've been doing this business for, it'll be 5 years in June. And in the beginning, I was only making maybe $100 a week, maybe on a good week, because I needed that grocery money for my family, like we talked about, right? That was my motivation. I consistently kept showing up on social media, kept inviting, kept showing up with my personal development once I figured out that it was important to do it, right? Consistently engaged in my business. February, guys, almost 5 years later, now that I'm earning, like I went from earning $100 a week maybe to earning like $3,000 a week, right? February has sucked. It's been super hard for me, super hard. Like I was telling Devin, like, I could just give up then, or I could just keep showing up even when it stinks, right? It's like training for a marathon. You have to show up and do your runs. I don't know if there's any runners in here, but I'm a runner, so I like to use that analogy. You have to show up. You can't just go out and run, a 12-mile run if you haven't been doing the training to do it. You're going to crash and burn. You need to show up. You need to keep showing up, even when the run is hard, even when it's raining out, even when you're sore, even when you're tired. And I think that this business is really important. So if you really want to build your network and expand your market, you need to be consistent with the actions and not just show up once a week and then be frustrated, okay? So whether you're making $100 a week or $5,000 a week, whether you are running one challenge group or you can't get anybody to do a challenge group, you still need to treat this business like $1 million business and keep showing up consistently. So that's my lecture. Now I'm going to give you some tips, okay? So actual tips. My first tip for expanding your network, and I know this sounds so obvious, guys, but just bear with me. Some of this you've heard 100 times. Add more friends on Facebook. Now, if you are building your Facebook like page, I'm talking mostly about your Facebook personal page here, okay? But again, how many Facebook friends do you actually have? It comes back to that being honest with yourself piece, right? Get frustrated because you post about a challenge group and nobody responds. But when I first started this business, back when I was making maybe $100 a week because my family desperately needed that income, I had maybe 200 friends on Facebook. That I wasn't on there for any reason other than to like see people's babies and like connect with a couple people I went to college with, right? I'm not going to build a consistent, long-lasting, well-paying career with 200 friends on Facebook. It's just not going to happen. If those 200 friends are going to be sick of hearing your stuff really fast. And some of them aren't actually even going to be seeing it because of the way Facebook affinity works. So you need to be thinking, how many friends on Facebook do I actually have? Are you just talking to the same people over and over and over again? Well, that's why you're not getting any response. You need to be adding 2 to 5 people per day to your friends list. And that's where that consistency piece comes in. And I know how uncomfortable that is. So I'm going to give you a tip. I found an accountability buddy in my team when I first started, and we challenged each other to see who, we both had about 200 friends, to see who could reach 500 friends first without Facebook, like putting us in Facebook jail. But we challenged each other. It was just a fun competition. And consistently adding 2 to 5 people per day to your friends list. Start with suggested friends, friends of friends, old classmates, parents in your kids' circle. I want you to worry less about perception. And that was a big thing that I wasted a lot of time worrying about. Like, what are people going to think? What if they don't remember me? We weren't friends in high school. Are they going to think I'm being spammy? Are they going to, you know what? They're not going to come to your funeral. They're not your BFF. If they don't want to accept your friend request, they won't. Just like you don't accept some people's friends' requests. That's okay. If you die tomorrow, they're not going to be at your funeral. What do you care what they think of you? You don't care. just hit friend request and move on. Because for all you know, there's a couple of coaches on my team who I wasn't friends with in high school, and now we're super good friends. What if I had been afraid to hit the friend request button? Worry less about perception. You are offering a gift. My coach offered me a gift with this coaching opportunity. They have a choice. If they don't want to be your friend, they won't. So don't get so caught up in your head and get in your own way. Lead with heart and good intentions. When you hit that friend request button, put a good vibe out there to the world. I know that sounds cheesy, but if you are leading with integrity and with heart, you're never going to go wrong, okay? So you need to be adding friends, consistently adding friends, consistently. So challenge somebody on your team to do it, okay? So now you have these new friends, okay? And maybe this is supposed to be, this is the second part of tip number 1. Sorry. But what do you do with these people, right? You have all these new friends now. Good for you. That's great. You hit 500 friends. Then the next thing I want you to do is hit 1,000 friends, okay? Please don't be spammy. We all know these people. How many LuLaRoe parties have you been added to? And mascara parties. And oh my gosh, don't do it. It's awful. Don't do that to people. Don't add a bunch of friends and then spam them with have you ever tried Shakeology? Oh my gosh. Are you interested in, no. Okay. And for that matter, I want you to write this down too. This is just me getting on my soapbox here. Please take, unless you are like a 7-star diamond, take Beachbody Coach off your Facebook personal profile. Because what's going to happen when your friend requests people, they're going to see your Beachbody Coach. They're not going to accept your friend request. So have it linked to your page, okay? But don't have it be like Emerald Beachbody Coach and bright letters all over your Facebook profile, okay? Because it makes you seem spammy. Because when I see someone who's an It Works rep request me, I automatically don't say yes. So that's my advice to you. My personal page links to my page, but it doesn't say on there 3-star diamond Beachbody Coach in big letters. Just don't do that unless you're a superstar. Then maybe you've earned the right. Okay, that's just my personal opinion. I think it makes you seem less spammy. So just be social and genuine. Get to know people. Okay, form interest lists. Do you guys know how to do that? How to form an interest list? Okay. So you can, I'm trying to think where it is. Over on the left hand, and Dawn says she knows how to do it. Over on the left hand side of your Facebook page, you should be able to create a friends list. And you should be able to create interest lists of people like your new friends or your coaches, for example, or people you've added from your Facebook like page, or the moms from your kindergarten class. I don't know. They can't tell. They don't know that they're on your friends list, your interest list, but it's an easy way for you to interact on their pages and to keep track and be social with a certain targeted group of people. And again, they're not going to know they're on your interest list, but it's a nice way for you to connect with new contacts. Let them watch you. Don't spam them with information. They're watching you. If you jump on their page and like on some of their pictures and make some conversation, then you're going to show up in their newsfeed, right? So let them watch you. I really want you to think about mastering. My team likes to call it the Hey Girl message. Where you just send a message to somebody just to connect with class. Keep it classy. Again, don't spam them. And keep it without expectation. It doesn't have to be an invitation. Just connect. Hey girl, I saw that you just went to Disney. My family's thinking of going to Disney next year. Do you have any tips? Hey girl, you just popped in my head today. I hope you're doing well. How's life been? It can just be something as simple as that. Get a conversation started. Don't mention your Beachbody Coach. Just lead with heart and integrity and give time for relationships to develop. Some of those hey girls are never going to go anywhere, and that's okay. Yes, it's time, but you're building relationships. But some of them are going to go somewhere because these people are watching you, and this relationship is eventually going to lead to a discussion of what you do as a coach, okay? So those are my suggestions on what to do with new friends that you add. And a lot of them, you might not do anything with them for a long time besides let them watch you, and that's okay. My second bit of advice for building your market, expanding your market, and again, I'm going to talk about doing this consistently, okay, is free or low-cost groups. And I know that the National Wake Up Call, and I'm going to admit that I haven't listened to it yet, yesterday was on free groups. So that's it was normally on my to-do list to listen to it Tuesday, and I just didn't get to it, but I will. So my advice, again, I'm not an expert, but I'm going to tell you what I know. Run them regularly. That consistency is key. That consistency shows your audience, your followers, that you care and you're not just out to make money, and they can count on you to consistently give them quality content. And it's important, okay? So every single month, I want you to have some sort of free or low-cost group on your calendar. Consistency is key. You can't expect these to work if you don't show up and do them. Run them regularly, keep them short, for the love of God. I have tried running long ones, and it is pretty brutal. Maybe if you are really, 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 really ambitious and engaging, you could do a long one. But a lot of times I have found that when people don't invest in the group, they're less likely to participate after about 5 to 7 days, 3 to 7 days, okay? They don't have any skin in the game, so they check out. So keep them short, enough time for them to have a really awesome experience, and give people the VIP treatment. Okay, lots of personal attention. Give out some prizes. It might cost you to invest a little bit in this group. You know, that's okay. Give people the VIP treatment. You want them to come back for more. You want them to bring their friends. You want them to get an understanding of what your challenge groups look like without having to invest in them. And I do believe in my heart of hearts that my very best coaches come from challenge groups. So if you're giving people the VIP treatment from day one, it makes a big difference. Don't get lazy with your challenge groups. We've all been there, okay? I'm not saying I haven't, but some ideas, for example, crock pot, clean eating, kid-friendly snacks, or like family-friendly clean eating, no sugar. You could focus on a body part, abs, butt, arms. I did a crock and core challenge once that went really well. And where did I get my core exercises? I just lifted them from Autumn Calabrese on YouTube, okay? So I found I broke down 2 ab exercises per day. I made a video. Awesome, because if you have the video, then you can put it on your like page too, or on Instagram or wherever else, right? Snapchat, whatever other social media forums you're on. But again, keep it short, give some free information. I have had pretty good success with running Shakeology groups with a 7-day sampler pack. And again, I could probably do a whole call on that if you guys want sometime, but maybe you do those. But that's a low price point for most to try the group, to try Shakeology for $40 and to see what you do. And I put together, and I can show you at the end of this call if you're interested, or you can message me, but I put together a little free gifty for them. If they buy the Shakeology sampler, I put a blender bottle and some little goodies, like some dark chocolate and some tea and some Energized samples and stuff like that in the blender bottle. Write them a nice handwritten card, send it to them in the mail, which means basically I make nothing on the Shakeology sampler, but it's $40. So for me, I'm investing in that relationship, okay? It's a low price point for most. It gives them a chance to try it. If they hate it, they're only out $40 and they got free stuff. But you've invested time in them and energy, right?
I love that idea.
Yes, it has gone well for me. And so what we do with our Shakeology groups, again, I could go off on this for a long time, but in the morning we do 7 days and 7 flavors. And so each day we highlight a different flavor. So I do a recipe in the morning, a superfood in the afternoon. That post is usually really quiet, but I figure they're getting information. And then I do a clean eating, family-friendly recipe in the evening. I do 3 posts per day, offer a lot of value to that group, right? And then we do a points contest where people can earn points for posting their hydration or their shake. And then I give out prizes. I try to make it really fun and a really VIP treatment and give them a free gift. And I have, I just did one, I just wrapped one up last week, and I sold a challenge pack from it. And this was from someone who gave me price objection in the past. So Good stuff, right?
Love it.
Make your promotion public on your page. So make the setting public when you promote. And I have had luck, and I see my coaches having luck sometimes asking people to tag 3 people to do it with them, that kind of thing. And I'll give you an example in a minute. One thing I've learned from free and low-cost groups, especially the Shakeology group, I've noticed a quicker turnaround. Like people like it, and so then they're willing to invest in a bigger, like a bag of it or a challenge pack. But from free groups, I've noticed that a lot of times those groups, I don't get a purchase from that for a long time. But that's okay. I develop the relationship and I build trust. Giving something away shows that you care and you're not just out to sell. But don't be a doormat. Keep your eye out for those people who are just always wanting something for free and are in everybody's free group. You do have those people, but in general, free groups go a long way. So it's good to expand your market. I'm going to give you a little example. So this is my friend Jess. This is an example of her. So notice she made it public, right? And she did a crock. People love crock pots, especially if you're in the Midwest. Like us Wisconsin ladies love their crocks, right? So she said, we start October 1st, crock pot recipes, blah, blah, blah. Drop a me comment and tag 3 friends who think would love to do it below. Feel free to share this post. The more the merrier. That is brilliant, right? So she got a lot of people that way. Then in there, make it awesome. Do a couple prize giveaways. Give them the VIP treatment. Give them the content, the value of the group. And eventually they'll be back for more. Not immediately maybe, but eventually they will be. At the end, I like to go live with a video and invite them to my next group. That is typically a paid group, but if they want to jump in your next free group, that's cool too. Videos are key for these kinds of groups because it lets people see your face and connect with you with a relationship. All right, my next tip, number 3 for expanding your network and your market is the power of referrals. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. So don't be afraid to ask current challengers, paid or free, if they'd like to invite a friend to join them. Whatever. Maybe they'll say no, but if you don't ask, they're for sure going to say no, right? Ask past challengers if they know anyone who could benefit from working with you. And again, if you give people the VIP treatment, they're more likely to bring a friend or refer people the next time. If I get a referral, I like to send out a thank you. You guys are probably going to see like a consistent theme with me, that I am reinvesting back in my business. And I did this before I was making good money. I don't care if it's a $5 Starbucks gift card. Thank you, a latte, for referring someone to my group. Send it to them with a handwritten note. That goes a long way in building relationships. So if I do get a referral, I always like to send out a thank you and a little gift card. With permission, don't be afraid to shout out challengers on social media for their success. That's a public way to get referrals, okay? Because a lot of times if that person hopefully is going to be a coach if they're having really great results, but if they're not, they'll hopefully refer people your way because they're getting great results, right? I think sometimes referrals is something we kind of forget about. I know that with Beachbody compliance, you cannot offer cash for referrals, but you can offer like a giveaway. So something to think about. I don't know what I'm sure that there is a price limitation, so don't get me in trouble, but I know for a fact you can offer something for referring.
I think it's like $100 is like the max you can give away or something. I can't remember, but I think it's something like that.
Keep that in mind. Like sometimes doing a referral giveaway is a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
My next tip for you guys for expanding your market is joining interest groups. What are your interests, passions, life experiences, not limited to health and fitness? Find interest groups that reflect these subjects and join. By interest groups, I mean on social media, on Facebook, okay? So, for example, I'm a breastfeeding mama, right? So there's a bazillion interest groups out there for breastfeeding moms. Maybe you're a golden retriever lover. Maybe you are a scrapbooker. Maybe you are, I don't know. There's really and truly, like, the sky is a limit. What I don't want you to do, I'm a runner. There's a lot of different running groups out there, okay? What I don't want you to do is get in there and spam people. I had a coach do this. She got in a running group and she automatically legit friend requested like everybody in the group. Don't do that, because then what happens is the admins go after you and they're like, you're not in here to, push your network marketing on people, and you're not. So don't be a creeper, right? Don't spam people. Again, patience. This is going to take time. This is not going to be an instant sale. People are going to see through that. Take time each day as part of your power hour just to interact. Allow relationships to develop naturally. Another idea that a coach on my team did, which I think is brilliant, is she is really into starting her own interest groups. So her daughter's in kindergarten this year. So what did she do? She started an interest group for kindergartners at whatever elementary school, kindergarten parents. And, kindergarten parents added other kindergarten parents who added other kindergarten parents from this particular elementary school. Again, don't spam them and offer them a challenge pack. Don't have to mention anything about what you do. Just be you. Those relationships will develop naturally. Those people will friend request you. And then because they like you, who are they going to go to when they need help with their health and fitness? You. Okay? My next tip is ads on social media. And I think this should be number 5, not number 4. Sorry, I can't count. It's a good thing I was not a math teacher. I really, really encourage you to invest 10% of your income into advertising. And I know that sounds crazy, especially if you're not making much money, but I know that Anita Myron, if you guys follow her at all, invests 30%, I heard the other day, of her income into advertising. And that's a little crazy, but obviously she's super successful, 10%. So your like page, or you could try Instagram. I don't know if you guys have run Instagram ads for coaches or for free. I think it's really nice to promote a freemium. You're most likely going to have a lot more success here than promoting a $140 challenge group to strangers who are like, who the heck are you? You haven't built the relationship. So I have done like a crock pot group, and I ran the ad on my Facebook like page. People, ooh, I hear it's hailing here. Sorry, it's like crazy against my window. I did crockpot group, crock and core, or whatever it was at the time, and I ran the ad on my like page, and I collected the emails via Google form, and so therefore I have their email. We connected on Facebook. I sent them an email saying connect with me on Facebook. I gained new friends. They were in my free group. They liked me. Then we kept connecting, right? So channel as many of these people as you can onto your Facebook personal page, just because you can connect with them via Messenger easier. You could consider sending newsletters via MailChimp or some sort of system once you collect emails. You could run ads on Instagram too, again, collect their emails. And there's a lot of ways you can do this, but I found my most success with running ads on social media comes when I'm offering something for free. Don't expect anything in return but to help and collect contacts. This is an investment in the future of your business. It's not going to be immediate gratification. If you place an ad, and I know that's sometimes why it can be frustrating. I've been very frustrated in the past trying to place social media ads because I feel like I'm throwing my money away. You're not throwing your money away because you're not going to get an instant sale, but you are going to get contacts. And contacts are gold in this business because they're key to forming relationships. So if you've got questions on how to do ads on social media, I know Devin probably knows. So if I'm like talking a foreign language right now, don't stress out. That's why I put this one last, because some people aren't there yet, and that's okay. I'm half the time not there yet. I don't know. Sometimes I'm still just needing to add my 2 to 5 friends a day. Get back to the basics if this sounds too overwhelming. If you're still working through your warm market, and you still have 200 friends on Facebook, you probably don't need to go running a ton of ads right now. You just need to be adding 2 to 5 friends a day. So it's going to speak to wherever you're at in your business, but you need to be working consistently to do these things. Networking in person. I don't care where you are in your business. This is something that you can do. Your wear and share goes a long ways. I am personally not a shake and share, like at my house, lover. I don't like people well enough to want to have a bunch of people in my house tasting Shakeology. It feels really uncomfortable to me. But some people, that's their jam. And if that's your jam, do it. Or just host a play date and make everybody shakes. I could do that. I could definitely handle that. Or host a fit club, or get certified to teach a health and fitness class. Try a vendor fair. That's another idea. Be confident in what you do and the gift you have to offer when you're chatting with acquaintances. Don't just sit on the sidelines. I spent a long time in this business, in addition to feeling uncertain about my people's perception of me on social media, being really shy in person, to like not wanting to wear my wear and share. Or I don't know. I was afraid to answer questions or was nervous, and a lot of personal development helped me with that. Okay. But it's important to network in person because this is a relationship business. Collect people's contact information and friend them right then and there on Facebook. Don't just hand out a business card and wait. You need to be proactive. All right. My upline, so my grandma coach is Melissa McAllister, who's the top 10 coach, right? And I mentioned business cards to her one time when we were talking, and she was like, "What? No." She's a top 10 coach. She doesn't have a business card because she'll just get out her phone on an airplane or wherever and add that person to her friends list, not handing out a business card and then waiting for them to call her. You be in control of this business because you have a gift to offer, and that consistency of networking and trying whatever suits you. Maybe you are a really introverted person, so maybe networking in person is not your forte, but connecting with people on Instagram or on Facebook interest groups is your forte. Whatever it is, find it and do it consistently. So that was a lot. I gave you maybe too much information. I hope I didn't talk too fast, but questions. Hit me with questions. I'm seriously an open book.
No, you did amazing. I took down like a million notes. So, but I'll let other people ask questions first before I ask my own. Anyone have any questions? Okay, well, like I said, you did awesome. I loved everything you said because I think that you broke it down really, really nice, and you laid out things in a way that doesn't seem so overwhelming, I think, for like newer coaches. What I was going to ask you though is like when you started, how many social media platforms were you like working with? Was it just Facebook off the bat, or a business page and your personal page, or what did you focus on at first?
Just my Facebook personal page.
Okay.
I kept it really simple in the beginning, like literally kept my 200 friends on Facebook and then just kept working that mastery. I've been told from my mentors that the most social media platforms you should be attempting to master at once is 2.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think a lot of times I'm like I have, like squirrel, like I'm going to be really awesome at Pinterest and Instagram, and I'm going to blog, and I'm going to, no. I can barely keep up with my Facebook like page. Truly, if you guys don't go check it out, you're going to see I haven't posted in there in like 3 weeks. So it's embarrassing. Like I have a new baby. I'm going to use that as my excuse, but consistently showing up on at least one social media platform and getting really good at it before you take on another, I think is really, really key. Especially if you're still working through your warm market, you don't need to have this, in my opinion, an amazing Pinterest profile that you're getting cold people off of, because you're still working through figuring out how to overcome objections and message and interact and fill your challenge group with just your warm market when you're first starting. So don't overwhelm yourself, is my opinion.
Yeah, I think I would have to agree because you hear a lot of people say like, "Oh, I've run through my warm market. I have nobody left to talk to," and it's like that's not possible if you're always adding people to your warm market.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love because, like you said, I think a lot of people feel like they have to do everything to be successful, but you really don't. You just have to focus on one thing or two outlets, and you're good. I mean, 4.5 years into the business, and like you haven't had to take on all these extra outlets, like you're still with that. So that's like, I think that's really cool.
Thank you. I really think that's people, when you talked on my call about it too, Devin, but I think sometimes we get caught up in comparing ourselves to these coaches who are in a really different place than we're at in this business.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, oh my gosh, they have this amazing Instagram and they're on Pinterest and they're on Snapchat and okay, first of all, stop. They're paying somebody
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
have all those different profiles for them. Okay. They are not on all those places. Somebody is on all those places for them.
Mm-hmm.
So unless you want to spend 40 hours a week on social media, which I don't, that's not why I'm doing this job. Stop, back up, pick one, start with your Facebook or personal page first of all, and then maybe pick one other thing that speaks to you. If you love Instagram, then roll with it. If you love Pinterest, roll with it. If you love Snapchat, roll with it. And then invest some time and money into getting a really good training and actually like working through it and getting really good at it before you take on another thing would be my example. And stop comparing yourself to these top 10 coaches out there who have this incredible social media presence in every single platform because they're not really doing it themselves. I think that's important to realize.
Yeah, I agree. Because as a new coach, I remember thinking like, holy crap, like
Right?
I can't do all that. Like, had no idea they had assistants. And
I was
going to say one of the top coaches says she has 3 assistants. So
yeah.
There you go.
Right. And they have people to watch their kids and clean their house. And
right. They have like maids and.
Yeah, that's not me.
No.
So find something that really speaks to you, but definitely realize your Facebook personal page has to have more than 200 people. That's where I started.
Mm-hmm.
Just growing that and then branch out from there and be really deliberate in what you're doing and consistent in what you're doing.
Absolutely. So would you say like as a newer coach, when you were working full time on top of this and everything, how much time did you put into the business each day? Was it spread out or, did you have like a set number of hours a day or was it just?
About an hour a day.
Okay.
Into building this business. And a lot of times it was broken up.
Yeah.
And that does not include my personal development or my workout. So an hour a day of just trying to figure out this business and run a challenge group. Sometimes more, sometimes less. Now I put more time into my business, but a lot. Right now it's like, because I have an infant, it's like crazy pockets of time again, like it was when I started. So probably about an hour a day. A lot of times I would take advantage of being in the classroom to just stay late and work for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Like really focused time.
Okay. That's awesome.
Okay, so you only just put in about an hour a day?
Yep, when I first started.
At the beginning?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad. That's doable.
It's doable.
Because I'm kind of like all over the place too. Because it's like you got to learn it. To do the challenge groups, I don't even know how to do one. So I feel like I need to do one personally before I conduct one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. I think that's key.
And then it's like get people. You gotta get invite. I'm like I don't even know what I'm saying.
Right.
So I need to learn it first.
Definitely. I think that being in a challenge group makes a big difference. And I think running your first couple, especially with someone else, Devin, I don't know if your team does that, but we run a lot of challenge groups together and that's super helpful because then I don't have to be posting. I'm not in charge of leading every single day either. And that makes a difference.
Absolutely. Yeah. I would say, plugging into your upline as much as you can in the beginning, especially with those groups is key. Because it takes the weight off your shoulders and you can just be a challenger that first, maybe for at least the first challenge group, if not maybe a couple of them in a row to just really get your bearings, figured out. But yeah, plugging into your upline and just knowing that, like, if you don't know the answer to something too as a new coach, like, that's okay. Like, you can tell the person, like, I'm going to go find the answer for you. I'll be right back. Or, I'll get back to you as soon as I can with it, if you're messaging with people. So there's nothing wrong with that either.
Okay.
I agree.
Good.
Yeah. Any other
Well,
questions?
thank you.
Thank you for tuning in.
Very helpful. Yes. Good stuff. So I like how you said just focus on Facebook. Don't be all over the place.
I think
It's
it's
trying to
important.
learn new websites and.
As your business grows, your social media platforms will grow, and maybe your networking in person will grow if that's your thing. But I think in the beginning, just start small and be consistent with your behaviors. It'll go a long way.
Okay. Well, I got to get the kiddos off to bed.
Thanks for hopping on.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yes. All right. Thanks, ladies.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
All right. I don't know who else hopped on, but if you have any questions, who is this? There's all these callers and doesn't say your name.
We don't know who you are.
Maybe they're muted. You could be muted. Maybe not. Well, okay, I'll just leave it at that then. I think that was all the questions that I have, but this was amazing. I'm so happy that you had the time tonight to do this.
Thank you for having me. I hope I gave tips and I wasn't too overwhelming. I tried to kind of have a variety from the new coach to someone who's been here a while.
That's exactly what I noticed. I think it applies to coaches no matter what level they're at. I think they'll find value in this, a ton of value in this. So, yeah, it was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I feel honored to be on the call.
Yeah, and I will get you the recording too, so you have it. But
Okay.
I'll post it in our team page too, and then people can listen to the replay. So
All right, sounds good.
awesome. Well, thank you so much, and
Thank
enjoy the rest of
you.
Hopefully your kids are still in bed.
I hope so too. I haven't seen any little faces up against the door of my office, so.
All right, good.
All right.
All right, talk to you later.
Yeah, take care.
You too. Thank you.
Bye, thank you.